Anchors keep ships safe. Until they don't. Because in the wrong conditions, a single mistake with an anchor can drag a 200,000-ton ship into disaster. Welcome to Think Again. Today we're uncovering the hidden engineering behind one of the most overlooked safety systems at sea, and why something as simple as a metal hook can decide whether a ship survives the storm or sinks. A modern container ship can weigh over 200,000 tons. When the wind howls and ocean currents push against it, the force becomes enormous, strong enough to snap steel cables like thread. Yet somehow, this floating city is held in place by what looks like a single metal hook resting on the ocean floor. That hook is the anchor. But here's the strange part. If you dropped that anchor in the middle of the deep ocean, it would do absolutely nothing. And if you tried to pull it up the wrong way, you could seriously damage your own ship. So how does it actually work? How do captains know how much chain to use? How do they lift a 20-ton anchor buried in mud? And what happens when the water is simply too deep? Let's break it down. To understand anchors, you first have to understand the chain. This isn't the kind of chain you buy at a hardware store. On large ships, a single link in the anchor chain can weigh over 300 pounds, heavier than a refrigerator. The anchor itself may weigh 15 to 20 tons, but the chain attached to it is often even heavier. And that weight is the real secret. Because ships don't just drop an anchor and hope for the best, they lay out a long stretch of heavy chain across the seabed. This creates what engineers call a catenary curve. The chain sinks into the mud and acts like a massive steel spring. When waves push the ship backward, the force first has to lift tons of heavy chain off the seabed before it even reaches the anchor. By the time the force reaches the anchor, it's mostly horizontal, pushing the anchor deeper into the ground instead of pulling it out. In simple terms, the chain does most of the work, not the anchor. But what happens in the deep ocean? Imagine a ship breaking down in the middle of the Pacific. Can it just drop anchor and wait? The answer is no. Most commercial ships cannot anchor in water deeper than about 100 meters. In deep ocean waters, which can be over 3,000 meters deep, the chain would be too heavy. Hanging that much steel vertically would snap the winch, break the chain, or even tear part of the ship's bow apart. So in deep water, ships don't anchor. They drift. Or in the case of modern vessels, they use dynamic positioning. Computers and thrusters constantly adjusting the ship's position to hold it in place without touching the seabed. It's like swimming against the current, but with a 200,000-ton machine. Now, here's something fascinating. How does the captain know how much chain is underwater? They can't see the seabed. They can't look down and measure it. Instead, they use a surprisingly old-school system called a shackle. A shackle is a standard section of anchor chain, about 27.5 meters long. Each section is painted in bright colors, red, white, or blue, and sometimes wrapped with metal wire so it can be identified even in the dark. As the chain drops, a crew member stands at the bow and counts the colored sections. 3 shackles in the water, 4 shackles in the water. They radio this information to the bridge, and the captain instantly knows how much chain is on the seabed and whether the ship is safely anchored. It's simple, but incredibly precise. The hardest part, however, isn't dropping the anchor, it's pulling it back up. Because a 20-ton anchor buried in mud creates a powerful suction seal with the ocean floor. Trying to pull it straight up with a motor would burn out the system, so ships use a smarter method. They slowly move forward, positioning themselves directly above the anchor. This changes the angle of the chain from horizontal to vertical. The upward force breaks the suction, a moment sailors call breaking out. Once the suction releases, the anchor rises, usually covered in thick, sticky ocean mud. Before it enters the ship, high-pressure water jets blast the mud off to keep the chain locker clean. Then the anchor locks into place and the ship is free to move again. From massive steel chains to color-coded shackles, anchoring is a perfect balance of brute force and precision engineering. A quiet system working in the background to keep ships safe in a violent ocean. But maybe there's a deeper lesson here. Anchors are meant to keep you safe, to hold you steady in rough waters. But stay anchored for too long in the wrong place, and you stop moving forward. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is lift the anchor and move on. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden engineering and the stories behind everyday systems, subscribe to Think Again for more videos that challenge how you see the world. Because the world is full of hidden mechanics, and we're here to uncover them. Stay curious and think again.